Hey guys, what's up? We're back. Dana White Contender Series 2004, Week 5. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. I'm here with Dre V and Key 3 Picks. Contender Series, I think we've all been profitable the last two cards, at least I have, just because I've made $1 or $5 on one and 1 unit on another. So I'll call it profit, but I don't know. This card, interesting fights. I think there's 2 bets that I like on this card. Other than that, I think some of them are so-so. What do you think so far?
I think that's a good card.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into that first fight. First fight is Corinne Lafon versus Nicole Cagliari. Did I say that right?
Say it again.
Lafon.
That wasn't too bad though.
What is it?
It's not as bad as the first time. It's Corinne Laframboise.
Laframboise?
Corinne Laframboise. That's how you
Laframboise. All right. These two girls, this is a 125 fight. Laframboise is 35.55.
That's good for real. You got it.
With a 64-inch reach. We got Cagliari's 27.53 with a 62-inch reach. Odds in these two ladies, I got to go back and find them. 1 second.
Minus 130 plus 100.
Yep, minus 130 plus 100. Key, low-level girls fight, pretty much as low as it gets. Break it down for us.
Yeah, I'll give this out for free since this tweet is dropping anyways. I'm on Cagliari money line here. I got plus 135, plus 125 range for members in Dub Club. Yeah, so this is a really, really interesting fight overall. Corinne is 35, 2-year layoff. But part of the reason that 2-year layoff is because she was supposed to fight around this same exact time last year on Dana White Contender Series. And going through testing and shit, pre-fight, they found out she was actually pregnant. So she was a few months pregnant at that time, ends up having the baby, blah, 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 all healthy, all good stuff. But now is making her return. First fight after pregnancy, DWCS, probably against one of the more athletic girls that she's fought. Cagliari, while I don't think that she's a true 25er, and I think that she's probably going to be better suited long-term at strawweight. I think that she's very, very much the plus athlete here. Corinne is a punching bag on the feet, not as bad as Shannon Clark by any means, but she is a punching bag on the feet. And I'm not just talking about the Manon fight. Jamie Lynn Horth pieced her up a little bit. And Oberg had her moments. Multiple people have had their moments against Corinne. But Corinne fights hard. She tries. She's not really that good, or whenever you see people move, she's not very much of a rhythmic athlete, if that makes sense. And she got teed off on an absolutely a generational ass whooping by Manon, but that's I'm not taking that knock against her. But a lot of these other fights, just seeing her on the feet, is one shot, big right hand, getting touched up, jabs, kicks. I wouldn't be surprised here if Cagliari actually ends up looking dominant at 32-7. I don't think that Corinne's wrestling is that good. That seems to be her calling card and will be her calling card here for sure. Because on the feet, Cagliari has Muay Thai and kickboxing background. Younger, like I said, the plus athlete. I think she's going to absolutely get off on her. I expect that Cagliari's takedown defense has upgraded since the Hansen fight. It was tougher to find some of the film, but knowing that she's working with Marina Rodriguez, getting good looks from her, I think that she's very, very much going to have a wide advantage on the feet here. So I'm all for fading the newly mom who was pregnant literally less than a year ago against a girl that I think, one, has long-term upside. And this matters for UFC purposes, is the more marketable and more attractive girl. It seems like Corinne is very much, and rightfully so, very much into being a mother. It seems like a lot of her social media is based around her being a mother and how big that is for her. And kudos to her and her partner. But I think the Cagliari is the fighter here. I think the Cagliari is going to get it done. So give me Cagliari anywhere to honestly pick them is fine. But plus money for sure. I love Cagliari here.
Yeah. I love where we line up. I kind of just have it written down here. I think Cagliari's got the better Muay Thai, better footwork, better output. I think she starts off slow, but her output gets better as fights go on. She can cage push pretty well. I don't really. I like her clinch work, but I think Lafon does a decent job in the clinch as well. Does well closing the distance. From a grappling standpoint, she can grapple well. She has good sweeps. So I think Cagliari's kind of got the better jiu-jitsu, but from a grappling standpoint, I think La Framboise could probably get something. Her armbar is pretty good, but I think Cagliari's the side here from like if this fight stays on the feet, it's gonna look money. Even on the ground, I think I'm okay with it because like we saw her with the Kay Hansen fight where Kay Hansen had her in a rear naked choke for about 3 minutes, and she was able to fight the hands, keep her off her back. And Kay Hansen's a much better jiu-jitsu specialist than La Framboise. So I'm with Cagliari too. Drav, what do you think?
Yeah, that's an interesting fight. I don't mind keep bet at the price he got. Now for me, it's kind of a pass to the current price. I think you can make a case for both sides here. Lafon was definitely been fighting the better girl. Manon Hort, and she's also fighting bigger girls, which is interesting coming in because she's going to be the bigger of the two here, and maybe even stronger. I'm not too sure about it. But yeah, she's a BJJ black belt. I think she hit hard for a girl. I like her pressure. She has that dog in her also. She's not gonna quit on herself, but she make a lot of mistakes. Even though like she's a good grappler offensively, like you said, she has good on board and stuff like that. But I do think that in scramble or just if she get taken down, and she gave up her back way too much. She's been submitted like that before, and yeah, also the Horde fight, he said that she got pieced up. She did get pieced up a little bit, but to be honest, she dropped Horde pretty badly in the first round. She almost knocked her out in the first round. And then she lost round 2. And then in round 3, she was looking good. She kind of clipped Horde 2 times in that fight at the end of round, before getting finished in round 3. She was winning the round, bro. Like she hurt Horde again in round 3. And then she ended up on the ground, and then she gave up her back and get choked out. But yeah, I don't think she looked awful in that fight. But yeah, Horde's a big girl, and she's known for late finishes. If you look in her career, she has all of her finishes are in round 2, 3. So yeah, and Mano, like you said, I don't give too much. I won't give her too much shit for that. But I'll say though, Mano beat her up in the wrestling pretty good, but in the striking, as the fight goes on, she beat her up. But I think that Corinne had some moment on the feet, nothing crazy, right? But she landed a couple big shots on the feet against Manon. In round 1, she landed two big punches, and then Manon started wrestling. And same in round 2, right before her nose was fucked up after that. But you can see that she hit hard the way she pressure, and then Manon footwork and size was just too much for her. But here, I also watched her last fight against Jim Reyes. I cannot find this fight for Cagliari because they both fought her. Would have been interesting to see it. But yeah, on the other side, I like Cagliari striking better. She's obviously she's faster. She's better defensively. She has a Muay Thai background. I like what I'm seeing on Instagram also. You can see that she's going to be marketable if they sign her up in the UFC. And yeah, she's a purple belt now in BJJ. She has been working on her grappling. Like Peg said, the Kay Hansen fight, I think the first one was not a terrible look. It was a bad look in the wrestling, the way she was getting taken down left and right. But her submission defense looked pretty decent. She fight the hand. She did everything correctly. But yeah, I just think that her takedown defense is not the best. And then you have Corinne that her wrestling is not that great, but she's pretty strong and she's able to get takedowns with the body lock and stuff like that. So I have some concern if she's able to get her takedowns going in this fight for Cagliari as the fight goes on. But on the feet, like he said, like Laframboise's striking defense is not good. She get cracked a lot. So maybe an under can be interesting here. I could see Laframboise getting a finish. I could see her getting finish also. And if you look historically for both of these girls, they've been finished a lot, not a lot, but they've been finished a couple times, and they have, I mean, Kari as 100% finish rate for a woman, which is rare to see. So if the under is set at 2.5 and the line is decent plus money, I think I like that better than picking a side. Just the way Lafon fight, like she's gonna come at it, she's gonna go for the kill early, and she might get clipped doing so, like Shannon Clark did. I'm gonna be rooting for her. She's a Canadian. We're not been doing good lately. She's actually from Quebec, which is the same place as me. She did a lot of videos with Charles Jourdain, and explaining a little bit about her what. So
You, Charles Jourdain. He just cracks me up. He's still your boy after G Silva murdered him.
That's the way to say it, bro. That's the way to say it. It's Charles Jourdain. But yeah, anyways, like she did a couple interviews in French talking about the pregnancy and everything. Like she was training during while being pregnant. She didn't stop training. And then after a couple weeks, her shape was back to what she was before pregnancy, which is pretty good to see. You don't see this all the time with women. It's different for one and another. But yeah, anyways, I just feel like I don't like her coming back after 2 years layoff plus the pregnancy, but she's in good shape, and that's now or never for her. She's 35. So yeah, I do think if you have to, I do lean a little bit Kari, just because she's the younger fighter, the better striker, better defense. She's faster, and yeah, she has some improvements upside because she's young, and you can see that she fought recently, but after that, a lot of 2 years layoff between the fights. So yeah, I like her a little bit better, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lafon was able to get on top and win the fight. So I'll see what the under is, but as far as the pick goes, I'll lean Kari a little bit, but I'll be rooting for Korean here.
All right. Next fight: Otar Tanzelov versus Josias Musasa. Musasa. Otar Tanzelov is he's 26, 6 feet tall. They're not giving the reach. Josiah Musasa is 25, 5'8", 70-inch reach.
The reach for Tanzelov is 77 reach.
He's so tall for bantamweight, bro. It's kind of crazy.
77 reach for bantamweight is crazy.
Dude, that's what I was saying. He's fucking huge.
I heard that in the commentary when I was doing tape. So I've not seen on paper, but I heard the commentary talking about it. Like he's massive for bantamweight.
I mean, you see him when he's fighting him on tape in bantamweight. He's bigger than every other guy too. It's interesting though, because like I'll just go first for this one. Josias, I'll just start with the dog first. We got to go over odds. Musasa's plus 190. Tanzelov is minus 230. From the Josias side, guy's got really strong leg kicks. We've seen him knock people down with leg kicks, finish him with vicious ground and pound. He's got KO power. He's really strong. He's got really good pressure. And the one thing I like the one thing that stands out, which I think matters a lot in Contender Series, is he's kind of got that like freak athlete aura type of thing going on, where he's just like a crazy freak athlete. He throws, the flying knees, stuff like that. And like, it's one of those things where it's like almost picture perfect. Like Otar, you look at him, he's actually got like okay grappling. The get up game's okay. When he's on his back, he's kind of flat, which could be an issue here because the ground and pound will be there. From a striking point, I like that he's able to switch it up both sides, orthodox and southpaw. He's got really good kicks. He's got decent power, but his accuracy and his range controls really well. So what we're kind of looking at here is a Georgian guy who's like a pretty clean and decent, well-rounded fighter. Probably justified the odds. I would probably say minus 175, minus 200. So I think it's fair. But this is just classic Dana White Contender Series, where a guy like Musasa walks in with crazy freak ability and runs in and smokes him. Because like you could be the cleanest striker in the world and like everything like that, but Musasa just finds his punches and knocks people out. It's kind of like Francis Ngannou or Jeremy Stevens or whoever you want to compare it to, who is these guys that, they may not be the best fighter, but they somehow find that punch and they knock him out. So I'm going to take my pick. It's going to be Tanzelov, but I would not be surprised if he got knocked out by this guy, Musasa. What do you think, Trav?
Yeah, it's a banger either way. It's gonna be a good fight. Did you watch the fight with Denise for Tanzilov?
Which
It was not his last fight, but it was the fight after before that.
I probably did. I did so much tape today. Yeah, I watched it at some point.
All right, because I mean it's a very important fight to watch. If you didn't guys watch Tanzila versus Denise, because I mean he got kind of lucky to win this fight in my opinion. Like the guy was pressuring him the entire time. I disagree with you, Pay, on the pressure thing. I think that he accept back foot too much. He accept being on the back foot too much, Tanzilov. This guy was just pressuring him nonstop, and after a couple,
No. I said Musasa has the good pressure. Musasa's got good pressure.
you were talking about the other guy when you said it, but anyways,
Yeah, sorry.
all good. I mean, I just don't like that he's gonna accept not bottom position, but being on the back foot like that against a guy like Musasa who want to kill you. The guy has nasty power. He's a freak athlete. Um, he he didn't fight the best people, and he doesn't have a lot of like he has been a pro for only 2 years, Musasa, but I think that he has that dead touch in his hands. He knows that. He has also nasty leg kicks. And yeah, I was able to watch a lot of his fights. The fight he got extended and got around 2 KO. He got touched up a little bit. He got hurt, I think, 2-3 times in that fight. But to his credit, it's kind of good for me to see a guy getting touched up like that. When we see a lot of these guys coming up with all the first round finishes, never fought adversity, you don't even know if they have a good chin. You don't know how they're gonna react when they face adversity. So in that fight, he did face adversity. He got dropped. He got hurt, and then the guy bite down on the mouthpiece and got the KO of his own after the first round, which was good to see for his growth, in my opinion. But yeah, he got dropped by a guy who was not very good. Dinata was 0-1 at the time. He's 2-2 now. The same guy beat two other guys after that, 4-1 and 7-2, and he put them out pretty badly. He has some nasty power. So him getting hurt by that guy, I know it looked bad on paper, but the guy has some big power. And then after that, he killed a lot of people, like a lot of round one finishes. Yeah, I just think he has that dead touch in his hands. I like his kicks also. I just think the guy's different, and I'm not even sure he's gonna gas out. He looked in incredible shape, and the fight that he got extended in round two, he looked good. So now this other guy, Tanzilov, I think he's also pretty good. Oh, by the way, Musasa's getting pushed by Kamaru Usman. Like he talked about it, did a little clip with him saying that it's his time now. He's going to be fighting on Dana White Contender Series and all that. So I thought that was interesting a little bit because Tanzilov, he has the bigger followers, the bigger following of the two. He fought the better competition. He has more experience. He's been a pro for longer. And the guy has nasty kicks. You didn't talk about his body work, but I think his body work is pretty nasty. The way he kicks the body, kick the leg, he does a pretty good job. He has a nasty jumping switch kick KO. If you guys didn't watch it, you can watch it on YouTube. It's pretty nasty the way he got it done. The guy was a bum, but still, it was pretty good to see. And then, yeah, so I don't like how he fight when he get extended. He pushed to it, but the guy is super fatigued after a couple minutes. He's breathing heavy and everything. He pushed to it. Like I said, he's not like gassing out his ass off, but it's not good. Body language is not good. And then, like I said, he's going to be on the back foot in this fight. He has good counters, good hands, and he's fast. He has some power himself. But I don't really rate his wrestling or his stop game, so I don't think it's going to matter here. I think they're going to strike. And with that being the case, you have a super volatile fight because you're going to have Musasa coming in, pressuring this guy, trying to take his head off, and you're going to have Tanzilov trying to be a little bit more cute on the outside with the kicks at distance and everything. You could catch him. I think they're both live to knock each other out. But I just don't agree with the price here. Just the way Musasa fight, the power he has in his hands, I don't think you can price him at plus 200. I know that he's only been a pro for 2 years, but I think the guy hit different, man. And Tanzilov, I also seen him get touch up a little bit, get crack on the feet, but he never fought somebody who hit hard like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he react. But being on the back foot and letting this guy pressuring him, it's not gonna be good. And Like I said, he's a very good kicker. Not to say he has bad hands, but you need to crowd the kicker in order to beat him, get in the inside and beat him up, and then unload the power shot. And that's exactly what Musasa is going to try to do. So I think he's going to get it done here. I like Musasa for the win and probably by KO.
Yeah, it's be interesting to see what that prop is. I'm sure it's probably going to be similar to his money line. Or
yeah, I wouldn't
like that though.
I mean, the prop's going to be out in like a day or two, and then the line's probably going to be lower, and then the price is probably going to be like plus 225, plus 250 or some shit. But I could see a world where it goes somehow all 15 minutes, but it's super unlikely. But yeah, even if it does, I think it's going to end up being a close fight.
Key, what do you think?
Yeah. All right. I'm waiting for the line to get a little bit wider on the dog, maybe. Honestly, touching a lot of Dana White Contender Series fights just feels nasty. But I think here, what I didn't like on tape from both guys, Drav already mentioned Tanzelov's fight with Denise, and that was a weird ass stoppage, and even the commentators couldn't even hide their own dismay for it, because everybody was kind of like, what the hell? I mean, Denise just gets hit with a shot, not a bad wobble, seemed to be a little off balance, but nothing crazy at all. And then
the ref is like, all right, it's done.
Yeah, and acts like he got shot or something. And so that shit just made no sense to me. After Denise was walking him down, and although Denise had a bloody nose at the time, we're fighting. Like, what was there to expect? So that was just a really weird stoppage. And Denise was walking him the fuck down in round 2, especially. And the last fight that he had in Octagon was pretty underwhelming, in my opinion. I think the guy has a crazy highlight reel, and that's why he's here. Crazy highlight reel against some bums. In GFC, we see that those guys really aren't fighting anybody at any time in that promotion period. On the Musasa side, I think that this is pretty clear. We know that Usman is trying to make a push in Africa with some of the promotions that he has over there. And I'm sure that this was a guy they had to get at least 1 or 2 on DWCS this year. And this guy's, he's a great candidate. I think he's a special athlete. I'd like to see him get out to a real camp with some elite training partners. It seems like he's sticking with his hometown coaches, which is respect and loyalty. But it seems like this guy could definitely use some high-level training, because the traits and tools he has is just elite stuff. Real pop, real athleticism, real speed. But what I didn't like, and is what's not making me quick to bet this spot, is just the fact that he got dropped twice versus Diata. And at the time, Diata was 0-1. Now Diata's 2-2. But he got dropped twice, hurt 3 times in that fight. And just basic stuff. He's just super wide whenever he's punching. It's all on the offensive. And in a dog at this price, that you kind of have to deal with some of the bad shit. You're not going to get a perfect plus 200 dog. So I think that this is dog or pass. Anybody playing Tanzel is probably just scared of the Eastern region in general and scared of those types of last names. So this is dog or pass for me. We'll see where this line goes and see if I get to bet here.
Yeah, he's also he's Georgian, and like Georgian prospects haven't shown up lately. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'll leave it at that. Next fight we have is Usery Belgaroui, right? French, I think, versus Taiga Kawasaki. Lines in these two gentlemen. Usery is minus 400. Kawasaki plus 300. This guy, Usery, he is Poetan's training partner. He's the Dutch guy who fought Tulio last season. He fought him sick. Didn't have that great of a fight, in my opinion. I think Tulio won that fight. He's 32, 6'5", 79-inch reach. Taiga Kawasaki is 27, 6'1", and reach isn't available. Draw, if you go first. if this isn't a setup spot for this guy Usery to make it into the UFC at this point, I don't really know what is. Do you disagree?
No, not at all. I don't have much to say here. I mean, Belgaro is the much better striker. He's much bigger, longer than that guy. The UFC want him. Obviously, he fought Pereira and Adesanya back in the day. So, yeah, the UFC want this guy in the UFC. And like you said, he was sick last time he fought on Dana White Contender Series. But yeah, he has some good tools. Good kicks, good leg kicks, good head kick, good knees in the clinch. Big power, obviously. But sometimes he can be a little bit patient early. But yeah, the guy is a freak for 185. And yeah, this other guy, uh, Iwasaki, I don't rate him at all. Like he has decent kicks on the feet, but like he's supposed to be a grappler. But when he gets people down, he's not even dangerous with the submission. So I don't like. He's gonna try to grapple Usery here, but even if he does and he's successful, which I'm not sure he will, because Bagui just revenged one of his losses that he had in the past. He went 5 rounds and he looked better in the takedown defense department. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. But even if this guy was able to get him down, which I don't think he will, because it's not going to be. It's going to be smaller. It's not going to be strong. And like I said, I don't even rate his grappling. The last guy he fought, he's 7-7. He went to a decision with him. He had grappling success. The guy is 0-5 to the submission. He couldn't even submit him. The loss that he had, I don't give him any shit for that. If you look that guy that he lost to, he's a phenomenal grappler. He's 11-0, and he's old, but he has wins over Kevin Allen back in the day against Gegard Musasi. So I mean,
Do you know who you're talking about?
Who?
Lovato.
Yeah, Lovato.
He's like one of the best grapplers out of the United States for jiu-jitsu like ever. He was like he was just in CGI for Craig Jones's thing.
No, I didn't know. Like I don't really follow the grappling stuff, to be honest.
No, he's humble. He's there's no shame in getting subbed by him. I'm surprised it wasn't sooner.
Yeah, so that's why I just wiki capped him a little bit. The fight that he won and the experience that he had.
Caught him wiki capping, Key. We caught him.
Yeah, for a grappler, who gives a shit? But yeah, I'm just saying the same thing that you did. That's not a bad loss that he has on his resume, so we can't really give him shit for that. But anyways, the guy didn't beat anyone yet. I don't know why he's here. I don't rate him at all. It's a setup spot, like you said. -400 is probably fine. It's probably fine for a parlay piece. Maybe round 2-3 for Belgari, but yeah, it can be early also. So I think he's going to get it done by KO here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think KO is pretty straightforward. I mean, he's got great clinch work. He's got good cage pushing. He's a really good striker. He's a world-class kickboxer. He has somewhat improved takedown defense. He throws way cleaner combos. Taiga, he's a good 1 second. Something in my throat. He's a decent grappler. Like his BJJ, his triangles look good. But the only thing about him is his wrestling stinks and he can't get it there. I don't think we have to worry about it here with this guy Usery. He does that like bullshit Taekwondo shit sometimes. He easily can take the back foot, and I think this is just an easy setup spot for Usery. It's probably going to be like a highlight reel KO. I think it's probably going to look pretty easy. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I think that Usery is like one of the worst finishers on planet Earth. I mean, it just doesn't. He has all the tools, all the background. Like, I mean, it meets all the every trait you could want. The Sami guy was like the whole fight. He was like bullshitting and showboating after he saw that he was no longer on Usery's level. And Usery should have finished him. I mean, 5 rounds to do it. I get he wanted to show that he could go 5 rounds, blah, 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 all that stuff. But in fights like that, you have to put the guy away. And the guy just stuck around for too long in a fight where I think that Usery was just levels and levels and levels above this guy. And I realized that he lost him early in his career in a split decision. But this fight, I mean, it just showed that Usery has leveled up big time in the takedown defense department. On the feet, I mean, as mentioned already, Adesanya, Poatan, I mean, he has all the background experience. I think that he most likely wins this fight. I'm not convinced that he gets a knockout just because he doesn't fight in a violent way. This guy is minus 400 at the time of this recording. Minus 400 on a guy that's not a finisher or super violent in a fight like this, I'm just not with. I can't blame anybody taking dog shots, although I do think that this is a spot to get Usery in because he dropped the ball the first time. I know that he was super sick that fight. But it's not like they were like intentionally bringing him back in a setup fight. Like his initial matchup was this Russian that is pretty relatively decent, better than Tiger. And so that Russian fight got scrapped, I believe, like 2 to 3 weeks ago, and Tiger took this on short notice. So I understand why the line is wide. I just don't think that Usery is a guy that should be minus 400 just because he doesn't fight like a guy that's super dominant. I mean, he's point fighting and doing shit that in that small octagon, anything can happen. And so I'm passing on parlaying him. I know all the parlay boys have been out and in full effect recently. But I don't think that this is a spot to gladly parlay. So there's a pass fight for me.
Key, based on what you're saying, I'm pretty sure they're gonna open it. They're gonna make the total at 1.5, and the over 1.5 is probably gonna be plus money. Do you like that?
Yeah, I probably like that. I mean, having playing, y'all know I hate fucking totals, so
You're killing it with it. You're killing it.
I might hesitate. The stats show I'm decent with it, so I might hesitate a little bit. But honestly, in a Usery fight, a 1.5 line, unless the other guy is just some major finisher, is probably a good bet every time. So yeah, in this case, that's probably going to be a good look if that does come out at 1.5.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 1.5, and it's going to be plus money.
It's just tough to get shit down super early because the limits will be ass, and so you're having to play different ways to get exposure. But yeah, so. That is a decent look.
All right. Next fight we have. This is going to be a good one. Cody Steele versus Quimwell Atani. Let's see. Cody Steele is 29.59 with a reach that they don't have listed again. Atani is 31, 6 feet tall, also not listed for reach. Line on these guys: Steele is minus 200, Atani is plus 160. Key, I'll have you go first. What do you think for this one? Do you think that Atani's going to get his BJJ going here, or do you think Steele's going to mix it up well enough to find a decision?
Yeah, no, I think if there's anybody who needs to get their BJJ going, it's Steele here. I think that Otani's pretty mid. Decent cardio. He'll punch. Doesn't have a lot of power, but he'll throw some volume. We know that this is a guy who famously beat Poatan. Everybody loves to run that fight back. But this is not like a Poatan reverse arc where Otani's going to hunt Poatan down. Otani's not that level fighter. And that's not him being Poatan. And I believe that was like 2016 or something.
He got Poatan when Poatan was a white belt.
Yeah, I mean, that just is not – I'm not putting any stock in that win. Even though it's flashy and that's most of the reason as to why he's here, I'm not putting much stock in that fight. He's over 2 years out of the cage. At these odds currently, Cody Steele's minus 185. This is a pass fight for me. Cody Steele is not – I mean, he's just mid. I know that he's supposed to have a BJJ background. But he's just kind of mid on the feet. He does have power, but it's pretty obvious that he's not super comfortable on the feet, and he doesn't have the wrestling to consistently get this to the ground. And on the ground, it's not like this is he gets on top and the fight is instantly over. Like this guy's top control is kind of mid. I mean, guys are just getting up, not easily, but guys are getting up, and that's in Fury FC. I don't think either of these guys are good long-term prospects. And honestly, the scouting for Dana White Contender Series all season long has been very mid, in my opinion. I think that I actually know that there's a lot more better prospects than what we're seeing. But yeah, this is a pass fight for me. I guess you can – Otani at big odds would make sense. But at these odds, minus 185 plus 155, it's a pass.
All right, I'll go next here. I think Atani's takedown defense is not great. He's got decent striking. He's got pretty good pressure. The volume's there. He keeps his hands low, kind of makes him hittable. He's got good BJJ and ground and pound. Everyone likes to talk about, like you said, beating Poatan. Honestly, I like Cody Steele here. Although he's relatively mid, I think he's better at mixing everything up and just the better mixed martial artist in general. I think his dirty boxing's very well. He uses his boxing very well to set up takedowns. I like up against the cage. He's a pretty good back taker. He's also good at taking it on the ground. He's got good grappling. It's not like anything to write home about. Like you said, he's supposed to be the BJJ guy. I was not impressed by anything in specific, but I do think he will have, like, he'll be safe on the ground with Atani, and he'll be able to out grapple him on the ground. I think we're going to see a fight where Cody Steele does well on the feet, mixes in takedowns. I think we're going to see I think we're going to see a complete fight here, to be honest. I think Cody Steele is aside. I'd probably play Cody Steele. I wouldn't even bother putting money on Atani, to be honest. So I think it's Cody Steele or pass. When props come out, probably going to be looking at Cody Steele decision. What do you think, Drop?
Yeah, I mean, I like the dog here. I like Atani. I think he's the side. I think the line should be way closer than what it is. To touch back on the Podan fight, the Alex Pereira fight, people are probably going to talk about it all week. It was a long time. It was like 8 years ago, some shit. But to me, the biggest thing that I've take from this fight, it's not the fact that he submit him. It's the shot that he took on the chin flush without being hurt. The guy hit like Pereira hit him with like 5 to 6 clean left hook right on the chin. He hit him with a clean knee. He unloaded the combo like he did in the UFC, like when people were like that against the fence, like big punch. This guy didn't care. He's like, okay, give me more. And then after that, he unload combination. He hurt Pereira on the feet. He almost TKO Pereira on the feet, by the way. I know it was a long time ago. Pereira was new to MMA, but let's not act like he's not known to be a nasty striker. And the fight was on the feet. At first, Pereira almost had an armbar on that guy in the first round. Like, he didn't win the fight based on grappling in the first round. He survived an early storm. And with that fight, I'm like, all right, this guy has an insane chin, because let's not forget, the fight was at 185 pounds. This fight is at 155 pounds, which is way different. So the guys took everything that Pereira could give him on the feet, and then hurt him himself, unload combination, and then get the submission. So yeah, the fight was a long time ago, but Pereira 6 years ago or 8 years ago was a nasty striker with all the power that and the world at 185 pounds. So the fact that he couldn't knock him out or even hurt him was impressive to me. And then I watched all of his other fights. The guy can, like you said, he's a little bit hittable. I do agree with it, but man, he can get bunk fucking hard and he's not gonna care. So I like to see that. Maybe dropping down to, because he went 185 to 170 and now he's at 155. So maybe now his durability is not going to be as good. Who knows? But I think he's going to have a massive size advantage at face-off. Cody Steele is 5'9", and this guy is 6 foot. So let's not be surprised at face-off when there's like a big size difference. And yeah, so the guy is also a BJJ black belt under Damian Maya, if you guys didn't know. So yeah, he's only 3-2 to the submission on Tapology. But if you look a little bit on his Instagram, the training that he put in on the mat with the grappler and the high-level black belts he's training with, the guy know what to do on the ground. He's a pretty good grappler himself. I know there's some bad look on tapes a couple of years ago when he was getting taken down and he got submitted. But I do think the guy overall in the grappling is pretty good, and he's not going to be easy to submit at this point in his career. And I'm not so sure that Cody Steele is going to be able to take him down easily. And if he does, like both of you guys mentioned, I don't rate his top control, and I don't think he's very dangerous with the submission. So I don't think Steele's going to submit him at a high clip. I think he could land takedowns, but I don't think he's going to control alternate. And then on the feet, I do think Cody Steele is pretty decent, by the way. The guy has a lot of grappling experience. He's a good wrestler. He hit kind of hard on the feet. He has decent striking and good cardio. But the guy is also very hittable, and he's getting cracked by a lot of these lower level guys. Like if you watch the fight against Nick Echeverry, he got a KO in round 2, right? But in round 1 and even early round 2, he got hit super clean with a lot of shots that I think a guy with more power could have put him out. He didn't get hurt, but he got a little bit like a little bit wobbly, a little bit, but nothing crazy. But this guy, Nico Echeverry, he's 13-7, and he only has 3 KO in his career. So he's not a guy that's just gonna, put him out. Um, so yeah, like I said, he has like if you look, he fought Robocop in the grappling tournament, and he fought a lot of people. So the guy is good on the ground for sure, but he trusts his hands and he like to strike, which in this fight, if he does, I'm not saying he's not going to have success, but I think it's going to end up bad for him. I'm higher on Atani that both of you guys are in the striking department, especially in the power. I think this guy hit very hard. I think he's pretty fast. Just go on Instagram and look at him hitting pads. The sound that the sound that he does when he hit pad, he has some big pops in his hands, man. I'm telling you. And again, he was putting guys out and hurting guys at 185. He's fighting at 155 now. You need to take that in consideration. Also, another point, he did train with the Fighting Nerds guys a little bit. You can see he has some photos with Carlos Prates and with Damian Maia and all these people. And I like the layoff for him. We've seen a lot of these Brazilian when they drop down a weight class and they take 2 years off like that. Sometimes they come back even better. So I really like what I saw in his last fight. The stance, the power, the combos, the cardio, the durability. The guy is nasty, man. He has good body work, also decent leg kicks, and yeah, like I said, his chin is crazy. So I think this guy's gonna put Cody still out, man. I think he's gonna hurt him at some point, and yeah. So I don't agree with the odds. I think he should be closer to a pick him, and I'm picking Atani outright to win the fight by KO.
I hate when Drav does breakdowns. It makes me think. I hate that. Next fight we have here is Navajo Sterling versus Philippe Latu. Sterling's anywhere from -250 to -260. Latu is anywhere from +200. He's just +200 pretty much. Let's see. Let's just do a little breakdown. These guys. Sterling's out of City Kickboxing. He's from the same. He did the same kickboxing championship that Carlos Olberg won. He's 26, 6'4", 82.5-inch reach. Latu is 6'3", 7'9". He's with Elevation Fight Team. Let's see. Drav, you go first.
Yeah, that's a banger. I like this fight. I'm very high on Navajo Sterling after tapes, to be honest. The guy's a City Kickboxing guy, obviously, but he has a big kickboxing background. If you watch his kickboxing fights, a lot of fun fights. He knows how to entertain, and that's what Dana White won. Also, if you have time, you can go watch his YouTube channel where he does break down his own fight and what he was thinking in the fight and everything. That's good to see. Sometimes if you struggle to find a tape of him, you can find a lot of his fights on his own YouTube channel. And yeah, I think the guy is very good, to be honest. Like, he has a very good frame for the division. He's 6'3" with an 82-inch of reach, which is insane for light heavyweight. That's perfect build. And yeah, the guy does a lot of things right on the feet. I like his defense way better than I think he's way better defensively than Latu, and I think he's also better at distance. I think the way he goes to the body, to the leg, to the head is pretty good. I like his in and out movement. I like his combination. I like his power, and I also believe that he has all the wrestling and grappling upside here. He's a kickboxer, like I said, but the guy has been working on his grappling. He talked about it in interviews that he's not just a striker anymore. He's been training his grappling for the last few years, and he's actually the one taking people down on tape. In his first pro fight, he talked about that he went the distance, right? He said that it was important for him to go 15 minutes for a fight just to test his cardio and everything. And yeah, so the guy has wrestling and grappling, even though he's a nasty striker. And yeah, like I said, he can hurt people as the fight goes on. He's just pretty good all around. I'm high on his ceiling. He has a good cardio, a good durability, very good kickboxer, city kickboxing guy, good grappling. Like he checks all the box, right? Philippe Latu, I also like him. The doctor they call him, right? Same nickname as Medic. But yeah, the guy is pretty durable. I'll say that he has a good chin on him. I've seen him take a lot of big shots. He's not going to be easy to finish. I think he's training with Al San, who's in the UFC, obviously. Um, the guy did a lot of improvements in the recent years. You know, he was back in the days, he was fighting at heavyweight and he was clearly out of shape. I didn't like his grappling at all back then. He was getting taken down. He got submitted easily. I don't like his ground game, but you can see that he's improving. He's in way better shape now. Um, he's taking it very more seriously, and yeah, I like his striking. Also a kickboxer. You can watch his kickboxing fight. But I think he's gonna struggle with the leg kicks here, and I think that he's gonna be too edible for a guy like Sterling. And I think Sterling's going to be able to pick it up, kick the leg, and land the combination in the outside. You just need to be careful, though, because Latu is nasty in the pocket. He has big power. He's pretty fast himself, good in and out movement. He switched stances. And yeah, the guy has big power. He's fast. He's durable, like I said. And yeah, his wrestling grappling has not really been tested lately, but I think Sterling has all the wrestling grappling upside here. He's bigger, taller, longer. The UFC probably wants him to win a little bit more here. And yeah, I think he's UFC ready. I think he has good ceiling in the UFC at this division. And also another just fun fact: Latu fought a guy Morris, right? 6-6. It's just funny because he fought a lot of guys on this UFC Dana White Contender Series season. He fought Wes Schultz, who was Dana White Contender Series main event, lost. He fought Liam Anderson, who was UFC main event, lost, and he fought Philip Latu after that. So maybe history repeats itself, and he's gonna lose again in the main event. Who knows, right? But yeah, I do think Sterling's is better everywhere. I think he has more paths to victory. And yeah, I think he has the higher ceiling of the two. But it's going to be a fun fight, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you broke it down pretty well. I kind of wrote down, the boxing work of Sterling is pretty elite. He mixes up all his striking well between leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks, everything like that. He's very good. He's very accurate. He's got good power. He's really good in the clinch. What stood out to me on Latu, he has good kicks. I noticed, like, defensively, he's pretty good at rolling with punches. His knees up the middle are pretty vicious. He's got decent takedown defense. Once he's on the ground, he's horrible off his back. He's kind of like a dead fish. The one thing I had a star next to him that I like is that when you look at his tape, like, he's got that go factor. Like, when he has someone hurt, he goes for the kill, which, like, a lot of these guys take their time, stuff like that. Think about it. He just goes for it, which I respect. But I think it's like you said, I kind of think, it's kind of Sterling's time to get into the UFC. I think City Kickboxing kind of is looking for a resurgence. I think Dana knows that too. So I think Dana probably wants him to win. I'm laying Sterling. I'm not sure about his money line price. I think his money line price is like okay. Like, I'd be okay with maybe parlaying him, but I think he probably could find a finish here.
Yeah, I played minus 225 yesterday. Sent it to the Dub Club guys. So yeah, minus 260 now. I think there's still some value. I think it should be like minus 350 to minus 400 to be honest. But it could be a little bit volatile just because it's higher weight class. Latu hit hard. He's gonna bring it and he's durable. So minus 300 or better is I think it's probably fine for a parlay piece.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that y'all broke this fight down pretty well. Navajo's my type of guy. Pause. All the physical traits though, big time. CKB guy. And honestly, last CKB showing was not bad. Cam Rouston did not fight that bad against Torres Finney for what it's worth, especially at that price tag. But I think the Sterling is the goods. Limited tape on this guy. I do want to see his takedown defense tested once he's in the UFC. But at these prices, I'm going to be trying to use him as a parlay piece. Let's see. if I can get something going with him and another person on UFC 306 once parlays open on Bet Online. So I think this guy's good, physically strong, has a grappling upside, confident striker, smart kid, as you can tell if you listen to some of his YouTube videos, confident. And I think that he's just better everywhere than Latu. Latu is a fun guy. And I think has some exciting performances, especially recently. But I just don't think – I think that he's completely outmatched here. So Sterling would be used as a parlay piece for me. I like this guy a lot.
All right, guys, that's the show. Do we want to give them a parlay? Do we want to come up with a parlay or something like that? Or
we can't even parlay yet, so.
All right. Well, then that's the show, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll keep it under 50 minutes. Picks by Pegasus. I'll be putting my tweets out for all my picks. As for, I'll put it in the Telegram as well. Drav, Key, you guys got anything going on in your dub clubs?
Yeah. Go ahead, Drav.
You can go.
Yeah, key 3 picks. Y'all know the drill. Up over 60 units in the dub club and Discord. We got live bets, DFS cores. Almost broke even this past week. Weird week. But women's MMA. So y'all know the drill. I've hit my last 7 out of 8 women's MMA bets. And I have another one, as y'all heard earlier. And I expect to have maybe a couple more this week. So definitely get in LFAs this week, I think, too. Bellator, UFC 306. I mean, this is a MMA holiday season for all of us bettors. So now's the time. $10, link in my bio.
Yeah, nothing much for me. To be honest, I don't like this UFC 306 card that much right now, but I still have a lot of tapes to do. So we're going to be back Wednesday for the podcast where we're going to have more breakdowns for you guys. But yeah, as always, Drake__ on Twitter, Dub Club, link in bio. If you guys need the promo code, if you're new here or whatever, you can DM me and I'll have a little something for you. So yeah, let's cash and let's continue the train rolling. I think we all did good last the Contender Series card. I swept the card, so let's keep on rolling. And don't do all the favorite shit. I think that now the dogs on their season are coming up, and you're saying that parlaying minus 1,000 or some shit is not worth it. So especially in a show like that when they're fighting for their career. So yeah, I know the favorites. I've been rolling, but I think on this card we're gonna see like 2 dogs cashing personally.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we will be back. We'll be live on Wednesday with Aljamain Sterling for breaking down the UFC Noche card. I think we're going live at what? You guys gonna do like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
We're gonna go live with Aljamain Sterling?
No, I didn't tell you. I thought I set it up. Aljo's gonna be joining us. He's gonna be our special guest this week.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna act like I didn't hear anything.
It's all right.
Yeah, tune up 206 to find out Wednesday live tonight. In the night. Don't know the time yet, but it's gonna be later on. So yeah, that's cash.
And we'll put the tweet out this week. So all right, guys, thanks for joining us again. Picks by Pegasus, key 3 picks, Dravy. Find us all on Twitter. Peace.